102a. On this passage, Gessner founded a charge of forgery against our author, whom he supposed to have introduced the verse in order to show that the Orphic poem taught the existence of the one true God. And even Codworth, strangely, fell into the same error. Intellectual System, IV 17. Fortunately, Eusebius, while refuting Porphyry, has given us his own interpretation of the verses, showing at considerable length, 102a through 108a, that they represented the world as a great animal to which the name of Zeus is applied, his mind being nothing else than the ether. Compare Valkenaer, Valkenaer, diatribe, diatrib, de, Aristobulo, aristobulo, xxvi. After quoting Porphyry again in the physical theologies of Greece and Egypt, 108b through 117b or d, Eusebius himself exposed their contradictions and absurdities in 5 remaining chapters of the book, 118a through 127c. In the second group of 3 books, IV to VI, he passes on from the mythical and physical systems of Greek theology to the political forms of religion upheld and enforced by laws of the several states. Books IV and V are only occupied with discussions of the oracles and their pretending prophecies and healings, which are attributed both by Eusebius and by the witnesses whom he quoted to the activity of evil demons. The evidence of these subjects is for the most part taken from Porphyry's work on the philosophy to be derived from oracles, fragments of which are preserved by Eusebius, and his extant of well-known work on abstinence from animal food. The last 9 chapters are devoted to the subject of human sacrifices. The chief witnesses being Porphyry, Dionysius, and Halicarnassus, and Diodorus Siculus. In Book V, the nature and operation of demons, the incantations by which they may be controlled, and their regard for the images in which they are supposed to be presented or present, are described in extracts from Plutarch on the cessation of oracles, from Porphyry's work already mentioned, and from his Epistle of Enibo. The latter half of the book is occupied by most interesting and witty satire upon the oracles for the work of Oenomas, Oenomaus, entitled The Detection of Impostors. Book XI is devoted to the subject of fate and free will in connection with astrology, the evidence being supplied by Porphyry, Oenomaus, I'm just going to call her Oenomaus, Oenomaus, Diogenes, Diogenes, Diogeneinaus, Alexander of Aphrodisias, Aphrodisis, Bardesanes, the Syrian, and Origen. In the 6th chapter, we have a good specimen of the clear argumentative style of Eusebius himself. With much force and earnestness, he defends the freedom of the will against the fatalism of pagan religion, and especially of the Stoic philosophy. By the independence with which he maintains the cause of liberty, morality, and duty, it is evident that no such teaching as that of Pelagius has had as yet disturbed men's mind, or called forth the decisions of the Church on the doctrines of grace. Dictionnaire des Sciences Philosophiques, II 340. The next group consisted of books XII through IX, deals with the religion of the Hebrews. Of book XII, the first half, 298D through 322D, is the work of Eusebius himself, describing the lives and religion of the patriarchs and the doctrines of Moses and the prophets of divine providence, on God as the first cause of the universe and on the Word as the second cause. In the latter half of the book, the same subjects are illustrated from Jewish and Christian authors: Philo, Dionysius of Alexandria, Origen, and Methodius. Beck VII consists of the history of the Septuagint as described by Aristeas, of quotations concerning the Exodus and the law from Philo, Josephus, and Eleazar the high priest, on the biblical anthropomorphism from Aristobulus, and 2 accounts of the Essenes from Philo, followed by his views of creation and of providence. Book IX contains the testimony of heathen writers who have made mention of the Jews, a 3rd account of the Essenes by Porphyry, quotations by Josephus from Hecataeus of Abdera, Clericus the Peripatetic, 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 Chlorillus the poet, Abedinus, author of the Assyrian history, the Sibyl, and others on the deluge and Tower of Babel. The remaining 26 chapters of the book are chiefly occupied by several important extracts from the work of Alexander Polyhistor concerning the Jews, which include long passages from the lambic poems of Theodotus and Ezekiel on events in Jewish history, the spurious letters of Solomon to Vaphrys, king of Egypt, and Saran, which is Hiram of Tyre, with descriptions of Jerusalem and other matters by various authors. In the next group, books X to XII, Eusebius gives examples from Clement Porphyry and Diodorus of the plasms of Greek authors, both from each other and, as they argue, from the much older scriptures of the Hebrews. The testimony to their antiquity is drawn from chronography of Africanus and from Tatian, Clement, and Josephus. In Book XI, Eusephus proposes to show the argument of Plato as the representative of Greek philosophy with the Hebrew scriptures, adopting a threefold division of ethics, dialectic, and physics. He notices the moral teachings of the sacred writers, their literacy methods, accurate reasoning, and correct use of significant names, their knowledge of the natural world, and their contemplations of the true being of things unseen, with chapter 1 through 9. He then quotes the comments of Numenius in his sayings, "What else is Plato than Moses, speaking Attic Greek?" and Plutarch's treatises on the EIO of Delphi 10 and 11. Other points of comparison are the ineffable nature of God, his unity, the second cause as contemplated by Philo, Plotinus, Numenius, and Amelius, the third divine power of the Psi-Platonic Eponymus, chapters 12 through 30. The nature of the good and of the ideas as stated by Plato in the Republic and Timaeus is illustrated by quotations from Numenius, Philo, and Clement of Alexandria, 21 through 25. The existence of evil power, the immortality of the soul, and the divine image as taught in the Alcibiades of Phaedo and illustrated by Porphyry's answer to Boethus on the soul, the creation of the world and the heavenly bodies and goodness of God's work, their changes and dissolution, the resurrection of the dead, and the final judgment are all brought into comparison and illustrated from Timaeus, Republic Politicus, and Phaedo, and from fragments of Plutarch on the soul. In the book XII, the comparison of Plato with the Hebrew scriptures is continued on the simple instructions of children, the need of faith, the qualification of rules are described in the laws in Gorgias and the Republic, chapters 1 through 9. The picture of the just man and his fate in the Republic, paradise in the Garden of Zeus, and the origin of mankind, male and female, in the Symposium, the deluge, the right foundation of law.